Hello, and thank you again for visiting my YouTube channel for Psychic Robert James. Today I wanted to take a minute to talk about what I personally feel is the three most important things in our lives to be successful, if you want to use that word. And when I mean be successful, I'm not talking about making lots of money. I'm just talking about being successful at life. And here are those 3 points: mind, body, spirit. We'll take a look at mind first. When I talk about the mind, I talk about developing our education. Being able to educate ourselves. What do I mean by that? I don't mean by spending years and years and years and maybe even decades in school. There's actually no problem with that, and it's not that I'm saying don't do that. But what I'm getting at is school is good, and I think everybody should stay in school, but learning how to educate ourselves outside of school is just as important. To take that a step further, what I mean by that is actually taking the time to educate ourselves on stuff that we don't know. For instance, if we don't know much about investing, we just do the typical thing that everybody does, is throw our money into RSPs, but you really like to be able to expand outside of that, but you don't know, then what you should do is spend the time to educate yourself. Another example could be if you want to get into, say, website design, or if you wanted to get into a hobby of playing guitar. Spend the time to educate yourself. Spend the time to go online and read about and learn about how to create a website. Maybe take an online course. When it comes to guitar, the first time you pick up a guitar and you don't know what to do, you can educate yourself by finding a teacher or going online to an online guitar teaching website. So this is what I mean by educating, is being able to expand our knowledge about our physical lives here on Earth. That brings us to point number 2, body. In order to be successful and to feel good about ourselves, we need to also take the time to concentrate on ourselves physically. What I mean by that is, if we feel good physically, it'll show outwardly to other people. I don't mean you need to go to the extent of getting into bodybuilding and being a super athlete. If that's what you want to do, by all means, all the power to you. I have much respect for that. But what I mean is by taking the time to make sure that we are healthy. Not only physically healthy, mentally healthy, and spiritually healthy. But right now we're talking about being physically healthy. Making sure we're looking after ourselves, eating properly, exercising. I know it seems like a lot, but really, just watching what we eat and doing exercises, even if it's every second day for 20 minutes a day, at least we're doing something to make ourselves physically better. It'll also build self-confidence, because when you look at yourself in the mirror, you'll see an improvement and you'll feel good about yourself. And people will see that energy and pick up on it. And that'll help you to be more successful. Now that brings me to the third point to kind of tie all this together. And that's the spirit. Well, what do I mean by spirit? What I mean by that is growing spiritually. Because we can have a lot of knowledge. We can have a lot of schooling. We can be fit, physically in shape and healthy. But we need to also have that strong spiritual self. Where you believe in something. And I know a lot of people out there these days would argue, is there even something out there? And that's not what this video is about. What this video about is finding yourself spiritually and following that path and growing spiritually. Whether you want to get involved in a religion or not is completely up to you. Whether you just want to develop spiritually on your own and find out what works for you, I'm all for that as well. There is no right or wrong answer when it comes to things spiritual. I don't like it when people say that they're right and I'm wrong and their way is the way. Just the same as I don't force my way on other people. I give my opinion and my personal belief and philosophy, but I will never sit there and say my way is right and yours is wrong. Use what works for you. Develop spiritually in a way that works for you, that you feel is right for you. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And that's how you'll grow spiritually. So if you do those three things, develop your mind, develop your body, and develop yourself spiritually, this will lead to a more successful life here on earth. Thank you.